Hi YouTube, my name is Lucia and welcome to my YouTube channel. I figured in honor of Pride Month I would do a little story time, basically my coming out story and how I knew that I was trans and bi. So yeah, without further ado, let's get it started. When I was a child, I liked basically typical boy things like Batman and like toy soldiers and like cars and tractors and all that stuff. But I also liked, I wanted to do gymnastics, I wanted to do like dance, like hip hop dance, ballet, and like I wanted to sing, and I really liked art, and I was very expressive, and really quickly I learned how to fit in order to blend in, because I was the only Asian in my town really up until like maybe 4th grade, and then also I was like adopted, and my brother and sister were obviously like Caucasian, white, so I had a lot of reasons for kids to like pick on me already. I didn't need another reason. So I kind of did the best I could to just kind of blend in and fit in, but really early on I could tell that I was a little bit different from everybody else, in the sense that I liked guys, I liked boys. I remember like very early on when all of my friends would say like, oh, I have a crush on like this girl, I would be thinking to myself like, well, I have a crush on you, so this is awkward. But then as I got older and into high school, I started to realize like the social pressure of like not having a girlfriend, or not, advancing along the like social milestones of being a boy, was a reason for people to bully you. I did what I did, and I found a way to fit in. I found a way to go with the flow and just keep my head down. But at the same time, I found musicians like Marilyn Manson and like Slipknot, and just like artists that like really preached like individuality. So I kind of developed a personality and an identity around that. Kind of like the emo, goth subcultures, and in those subcultures, it's very normal for guys to have long hair and like wear makeup and skinny jeans and tight clothing. So I found comfort in being an androgynous boy and an androgynous like emo kid, and I would wear like jorts, like they were like basically like cut off skinny jeans that were like really short. I would wear like my sister's like jeans and like my girlfriend's jeans and like girl shirts and like crop tops and mascara, and like I would do my eyebrows and stuff. Basically, like I wanted to look like as pretty as possible without looking like a girl. So many times people would say like, oh, you look like a little Asian girl, you look so cute. I always like, whenever I would hear that, I don't know why, it would make me like really happy, and I would always like kind of like comment like, oh, you think I look like a girl? Like, am I a pretty girl? Like, even then, before I knew I was trans, I guess, like I was experiencing like gender euphoria, which was probably the first indicator that I was trans. Obviously, I had like indications that I was bi long before that, and I say bi only because I wouldn't say I'm gay, because I still do find women attractive. I don't know if I would per se date them anymore, but I'm not really like particular about like genders. I'm more into like who you are as a person, and whether or not like your personality and my personality kind of gel. So coming out happened in November of 2020. Basically, I was in treatment for substance abuse, which I'm not ashamed to admit, because I'm also in recovery from that, and I am proud of overcoming something so serious like that, and it's allotted me the life that I have today, so I wouldn't change anything for the world, and it's given me a great perspective, so I'm not ashamed of admitting it. In being in treatment, I was going to 12-step meetings, which are like AA, NA. They're meetings where addicts share their experience to help each other, and part of that was I had to really become like introspective, and part of it is like a fourth step, which is like making an inventory of like your shortcomings and like analyzing your experiences that like have made you who you are. Something that kept coming up was that like at an early age I felt like attraction to other men. I just couldn't admit that to somebody yet until this point. At that point, when I was in treatment in November, I had a crush on this guy for like a long time, and also there was this guy in treatment that I started having a crush on, and I was like, this is getting to be too much. Like, I am experiencing more and more like attraction to like guys around me, and I just couldn't like express it, so it was like torture. Then at the same time, I was like really becoming more and more dysphoric around my body. I didn't understand what it was. I thought it was OCD. I thought it was like body dysmorphia, because I just thought it was like I just wasn't muscular enough, or maybe I wasn't skinny enough. I just like didn't know what it was. I started to like really analyze like what made me tick, what made me me, and I started to think like, what would make me happy? Like, what does that look like? What does my future look like? And I just couldn't like envision that. Something that happened was I started to like think, well, what if I was gay? What if I was dating a man? What if I was with another guy? How would that make me feel? And I thought like, oh, I'd probably be a lot happier. And I was like, man, I wish I was just like a girl. Like, I always wished I was a girl. I wish I was a girl still. And I was just like, what is that? Like, what does that mean? And I've always been like a philosophical person, so I've always like thought of like these very far out ideas and concepts. So for me, I have had this thought before, but I never really attached too much significance to it, only because it was always like a fleeting thought of like, oh, like I would be a really pretty like girl. I feel like I'm like not an attractive guy. I look very like feminine for a guy, and I always felt like that's probably why girls don't find me attractive, because they probably think that I look like a girl, which I don't know, it's not neither here nor there. That's besides the point. But yeah, I thought like I could see myself maybe being with a guy as a girl, and like in the future that would be like, I would love to get married, have kids, and like the white picket fence, like that like typical stereotypical kind of relationship. Yeah, I was like, that's such a weird thought to have, and I never really addressed it or like, I don't know, dissected it much. But that, coupled with the body dysmorphia, coupled with like the fact that I was seeing other people around me share their stories, and I was like, wow, that's very, very similar to how I felt, and very similar to like experiences I had growing up, because I remember growing up like stealing, like, this sounds really creepy and gross, but like stealing my sister's bras or like my sister's underwear and like trying it on, and like just kind of looking at myself and thinking like, wow, like this feels good, but it felt like wrong too. Like there was always like this really intense shame and guilt attached to like anything I was doing. So like anytime I would like feel a crush or like feel like an attraction to another boy, like I would be like, oh no, that's wrong, you can't do that, that's or if I like wanted to grow my hair, my parents would make me cut it. I had really long hair at one point, like it was like down to here, and I was so happy, and then this lady gave me a freaking bowl cut, and I never let somebody cut my hair ever again. And then after that, it was off to the races. I started cutting my own hair. I had like a rat tail, and I had a mullet, and I had a whole gamut of weird haircuts. But anyways, back on topic. November 2020, I came out to my friend Jesse, was the first person I told. And it went something like, I just told him like, I feel like I can tell you this because you're like my best friend. I think I'm bi. I think I'm into guys and girls, but mainly guys. And it was just nothing. It was nothing to him. He was like, I love you, I accept you, support you no matter what. I'm just so happy that you can finally live your truth. And hearing that really like set a fire under me and like lit that like fire under my butt, where I was just like, oh my god, I can do this, I can tell other people. So I started telling like other friends, and eventually I had told pretty much everybody in my life but my parents in person. So it was time to tell them, and I sit them down and I tell them like, look, I think I'm bi, I think I like guys and girls still, but I think I'm bi. And my mom was just like, oh, I love you still, I support you, and you're my child, and I'll love you no matter what. My dad, on the other hand, was a little bit more like, he said the same thing, like, you're my kid and I support you and all, but I could tell like he's a more conservative kind of guy, so I feel like it was kind of weird for him, and he just probably wasn't too happy to hear that, but it is what it is. He loves me still. And but at the same time, I think I also had come out as like non-binary, just as like a stepping stone into like experimenting with makeup more and clothing and dressing the way I wanted to. Doing so, I started researching more about non-binary, and that led me to finding videos about transgender, transsexual people. That is when I finally felt I had found that key that like unlocked the lock to like my freedom and my life. Like once I realized that like, oh my god, I can do this, like that's an option, I was just like, where has this been? Like, why have I not known this before? Which now that I've been out and transitioning for like almost 3-4 years now, I have found so much media from like before, when I was like a kid, even like early 2000s into like late 2000s, early 2010s. Like there's so much media about like transsexual people, and I just never saw it. And I feel like it was just like one of those serendipitous moments where like it just happened the way it was supposed to happen. I realized like eventually it was meant to happen that way, because if I didn't experience everything I experienced up until that point, I wouldn't have had the perspective that I had and been so sure, and I wouldn't have felt so confident that this was what I needed to do in order to be happy. I feel like I was fighting for so long to stay the same that I didn't even consider that this kind of change was necessary. And yeah, I think that, in talking about coming out, it was only possible because of Pride, because of this month that we celebrate, and that's why I wanted to do this for Pride Month, was because seeing people share their stories helped me understand what I was going through, and really helped me reach a point where I was able to express that part of myself and not feel that shame or that guilt anymore. and I'm forever grateful for all of the hard work that activists and the people that were gay, lesbian, trans, bi, before me, before I was even born, like the things that they did, the fights that they fought in order for us to be able to be out and proud today. I just wanted to honor that, and I thought, what better way than to share my own story? But yeah, I think that's all I have for this video. I hope that was like a good introduction and a good little story of my coming out and how I realized I was trans, bi, all that good stuff. I'm gonna hopefully be uploading like once a week, maybe twice a week, probably on Sundays for now, but that's subject to change. This is all subject to change. I want to post like makeup tutorials, music stuff, like reaction videos, covers, art stuff, just like anything that I'm feeling, because I'm kind of like all over the place with things that I like or things that I do. So I feel like this is just a good way of being like a video kind of diary, or just like a way of me documenting everything that I'm going through, for myself, but also for you guys, and to connect with the community, because I love hearing stories of other people finding themselves, and I love hearing like the stories of people overcoming whatever turmoils they're going through. It's just like very inspiring, and it's just always been something that like I just love it. You guys want, comment below your stories, your coming out stories. If you're not out, if you're questioning, if you're in the closet, comment below what that's like, what that's been like for you, what your plans are, maybe if you're planning on coming out, like if you need help or anything. Even if you want resources, feel free to comment below. I might be able to help. Maybe someone else in the comments might be able to help. That would be awesome if we can like start a little dialogue in the comment section about helping each other come out of the closet. It's all great stuff. All in the name of pride. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe down below. If you want to keep up to date with me, I'll post all of my Instagram links down in the description. I also do tattoos, so I'll post my tattoo Instagram down there too if you want to follow that, or if you want to get tattooed even. That would be awesome. I would love to tattoo you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed my rambling. I hope I didn't like ramble too much. Probably did, but that's what editing is for. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time. Bye!